Greetings, Fallout fanatics, and welcome to the next episode of Let's Build a Settlement here. Go. The Far Harbor Visitor Center. So a couple of videos ago, I'd asked you all what you think I should do with the parking lot here. And more or less, you guys unanimously decided that I should put some sort of marketplace here, which was my initial thought, but figured I'd ask to see if anybody had any other ideas, and I had one other idea about putting some sort of, I don't know, fountain or something here, so we might still do something like that as a decorative thing, but for the most part it's going to end up being a market. So we got our pump house done, we got our waterfall basically all done and situated. We got old McDonald up there doing his farmer thing. And we're going to kind of close off the farm a little bit, I think. Thinking I might stick some sort of fencing up in here. Notice my menu's moving a little on the slower side. I tried adding a few new mods, and doesn't seem to be working, and at the same time it kind of slowed down my menu a little bit here, so we're going to have to kind of compensate for that. Alright, we're going to start off with some farmer fence here. Do our best to get this all nice and lined up. And unfortunately, I don't think these things snap to each other, which is a real pain in the butt when you're trying to do this. Yeah, none of them do. Even the posts. I mean, why would you make a fence that you can't snap? Makes no sense. Alright, we might be able to work with something else. I know these are sloped, but they do have some straight sections, and I think these, yes, they do snap to each other. Alright. So we're going to change things a little. These guys mostly lined up here. And we're going to go this way, I guess. Already we're starting to drift, so we'll pick that up. Move it off like so. Much better, I think. Actually, no, I can see we're already out of alignment there again. I'll try that. In here, another post or two. Oh, and we're going to be off. Of course we're going to be off. Of course they're not going to. And there's only one size on these two. I mean, it can just get a little creative here and do something like that. Which is basically what I was going to end up doing over here anyway. So, it works. Did I want to try and go straight? I have these rocks here to contend with. Let's see, let's scoop that on over. One or two taps that way. Let's get up here and have a look. There we go. Now we can actually see what we're doing. So let's turn that. Let's see if we can blend those two. Much better. Just dip that down a couple of notches. That works for me. Turn that off, turn that back on. Looks a little funny. Let's roll with it for a minute. Maybe we're sophisticated and can drill through the rock. Good enough for me. Alright. Now let's turn that off. Bring this over and let's see if we can make this one post as well. It's gonna be a little funky looking because of the angle, but actually no, that works. Perfect. Alright. Next. Get this guy in here, like so. We'll dip him down like that. Works for me. Turn our snapping back on. Let's see. We actually are working on a little bit of an angle here, so let's go ahead and angle our fence upward, like so. Maybe. Actually, no, that one's a bit too much. I think that one... Yeah, that one's not even sitting in the ground. That might be too much. Do I have a subtler one? Apparently not. Alright, so we'll just roll with that. Okay. Now, I kind of wanted to do something off of the side of the greenhouse here. So let's go ahead and scooch that on like that. Let's work out this way. Oops, I already had my snapping turned on. Dum-dum. Alright. This way we can see where our shortcomings are going to be. We're going to need another angle, plus I'm going to have to put a gate in here at some point too. Which, we'll put the gate right here on the corner. They're coming from this way anyway. Alright, let's take out our little bit of rocks there. We're going to go back to the farmer's one, because we actually have a gate here. Doesn't need to be the same exact stuff. We'll have to make it bigger, though. But for starters, let's see which way this opens. Like that. Okay. That works. And we need to bigger-size it. Oof. Yeah, these mods that I tried loading right before I started recording are definitely messing things up, making everything run very slowly. But we'll deal with it. Nice. Got our gate. Random post. Alright, let's see. What do we got going on over here? That lined up. Oh, geez, we're sticking out of the glass. I didn't even notice that last time. Let's go ahead and fix that. Yeah, you can see it takes a little longer for me to get into my menus here. So we'll have that fixed by next video, and maybe hopefully even get those mods working, because I have a cool bunch of texture mods that are supposed to make this thing look mucho bettero. My snap is turned off. Why did I turn that off? I don't know. There we go. Alright. Now we've got a little bit of farmer fence thing going on there. Okay. So one fun idea that I'd had with this whole thing, with building some sort of market here, is... Let's go back this way. Thinking of fencing off the roadway here. Let's get rid of some debris. And also fencing off all the way around the market. This way people can still come in from all over the place to go to the market, to do trading, buying, etc. And then I'm going to gate this off as our main entrance into the rest of the settlement. So like you're not going to be able to see anything other than some walls here. So let's go ahead and play around with that for a moment. Let's see. Oh, geez. Trunk fence. Yeah, I have a feeling these mods really mucked up everything on me. Oh, these are free plays. I don't want those. Let's do an experiment here. See, they're not snapping. I do have snapping turned on. So let's try the US. Oh, that was USO. That's why. Okay. Just ignore me. And my silliness. There we go. Trunk walls in here somewhere. I probably passed them already. There we go. We want the tall ones, actually. You know what? Let's start with this guy. No, I don't want you to snap now. You know what? Let's put... yeah, one of these. Stick this guy here. To make sure we line it up with the path of the road. Without actually interfering with the road. Let's get up and above. There we go. Now we can see our trajectory. Keep going now. Okay. Now we can turn our snapping back on. Might have to do some changes hither and there. We'll make it work. I don't think we really need this to be that tall, do we? Let's see. Take it down to there. I like that height better. That's a little more friendlier, in a sense. Of course, we're going upwards, so we gotta compensate for that. Really wish they had done like some sort of slanted design on some of these so that when you're going up and down hills, it's, you know, a little better looking, but is what it is. Perfect. Made it right to the edge there. Excelente. Alright, let's turn our snapping back off and do the same on this side. I want to use one of the these guys again. Use that one there, because we don't want these to be exactly the same. Stick it here for the moment. Get it up. Lined up. And shoot. That, I think. Alright, let's turn our snapping back on. Start throwing some balls in place. Okay. That might be a little too tall. Drop that one down. No. Leave that one where it was. Alright. Put in, yeah, one of these dudes. Same thing. I'm gonna, whoops doodle, work our way upward. Something different. One last guy, right? Yeah. Want these to be even as we can. So even Steven as we can. Nice. See, now we've got a nice direct path from the door to that pile of leaves. And we can come on up here. And boom, we got the marketplace. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fence off all around the marketplace. And, yeah, turn this into one big giant grand entry into the settlement itself. So we're going to turn our snapping back off. We're going to... This guy here. Actually, I probably could have used a corner piece now I'm thinking of it. Short. Let's find a corner. Good one. Let's go for the one with the barbed wire. Let's go ahead and turn our snapping back on. Boom. That sets our next trajectory. Of course, we're going to have to probably compensate for that. Actually, you know what? We'll stick with the short ones, because this is... Yeah, see, we're going to have to work this guy here. Let's go ahead and do that. Just like so. Excellent. Okay. Actually, yeah, let's raise that guy up a little bit. Okay. Better. And yes, I can. Stick you up there. Oh, look at that. That was lucky. I didn't even know if I was going to aim those perfectly or not. Okay. Turn our what's off. Actually, I don't even know if I need to go that far. I can actually probably get rid of that. And I gotta plan out my entryway here because I want to keep this like as visible as possible when we're connecting into it. So I gotta kind of... You know what? We're gonna go this way while I try to think that through. Let's get this guy in here. I know I could just use another corner piece, but meh. We're just gonna... Whoops, doodle. Wing it. Alright, so in that case we're gonna go that way. Turn our snapping back on. Pieces now. Go. Give me that guy. Give me that guy. Nah. Got holes in it. There we go. I like that one. Excellent. We're going to turn that way, and we're going to leave the big blocks of stuff. We're going to have to move these guys over. No big deal. I don't even know if I'm going to keep them. So for now, they can just go sit there. And that looks a little funny, so we're going to get rid of that. And we'll leave the other ones. Maybe we can turn them into some sort of seating or something. Who knows? There we go. Alright, let's see. Want to... Whoa, whoa. Well, now. Go that way. Alright, let's see how that works for us. Making these too short. short are they? Yeah, how much higher can I go? This guy. Oh, look at that. Quite a bit. Let's get you right there. Yeah, I like that better. Alright, cool. This is... Nice. Might actually put a doorway here, so for now, we're just gonna do a repeat of that till I stick a door piece in, and then we'll just take that guy out. Because that looks like a natural entryway. So we'll have that be another guarded something or other passageway. Cool. Alright, onward. Now we're gonna have to go into some of these tall guys because we need some new textures. Doing the same things over and over again here. There we go. That looks much better. Okay. We gotta get rid of some grass here real quick. Let's see, how are we looking? Not bad, not bad. Alright. We need a reverse corner. We're gonna go back into here. Or not really a reverse corner, but a corner. Let's, oh, that was snapping on. For some reason that corner doesn't want to snap. Did I go into the free place ones? No. I don't know. Alright, whatever. Not a problem. Just burp. Drop it down. Actually, we want to kind of merge these two a little bit and re-aim that. Maybe right about there. Let's check this out. Not bad. I can work with it. There we go. Now we got our snapping bick. Oh, yeah, see. Now I've done... That's... yeah. Alright, I got it. I got it. Hang on. Started doing these the opposite direction. Not that it really matters, but, you know. We want to kind of keep as much of the smooth running line here as we can. Speaking of which, gotta tweak that guy. There we go. Nice. Alright, back to these dudes. Get into the nitty-gritty where we gotta make some decisions here. Oh, that's supposed to be like that. Ah, I messed that one up. I didn't realize that. Hang on. Oh no, can I not grab it now? Alright, you're in the way. Move. Alright, you know what? Be gone. There we go. There we go. Hang on, we gotta get this lined up just right. Okay. Sorry about that. Now, I have to make some decisions here. I do like these blocks. I wonder if I have any access to stuff there. I think I do have something very similar over in Snappy. But I also might want to put up some different wall here now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, there's that. I don't know. Let me check Snappy real quick. And we're gonna go into landscaping. No, not the walls I'm thinking of. Maybe home wrecker. Fences. There we go. I was thinking these dudes. Because we want to do something like this. Boom. For that, we don't need that trash can. Now we want one of these dudes. That. I want to probably scooch this over. Maybe we want to use... Yeah, I like one of those better. Hang on. Nice. We're gonna scooch that over like so. Boop that. Alright, whatever. Then we need perfect small section of wall. Actually, we're gonna be meeting up that guy. Let's do like so. We need that. Then we need smaller guy. So alright, so we don't quite meet up with that, but we're getting somewhere. Might actually change that and bring that over here. Let's try an experiment. Yes, like that. Then let's put another corner piece here. Nah, go with that guy. There we go. And let's bring you like that. Okay, I think this is going to work better. Just going to stick you there for the moment. Another short doer. So... okay, now we just got a tiny little gap here to fill. Do something like that. Put that guy there. Nice. I'll take it. Alright, I'm not gonna get rid of you, we're just gonna move you. Already got rid of the other one. And that didn't help, so we'll just stick you there. And let's see, yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm doing here if I want to repeat that same thing. I mean, that is pretty nice looking, except for that weird slanted texture thing we got going there, but whatever. Alright, let's see. Let's get... what did I use here? It's one of those small ones. Okay. So let's try to repeat that. It's, oh, that didn't make any difference. Let's do that. How tall did I make you? Much taller. Let's go ahead and... hopefully about there, I think. Okay, now we gotta straighten you up. So... okay. Corner piece. Just like that. And we want some big walls, like that. Turn that off. There we go. Nope. Much better. Alright. That guy there. Corner piece here. And little guy here. See if that works for us. Not bad, not bad. We're not too far off from where the other one was. And like I said, now we have that integration with this, so we got that, so that's cool. A little different than what I initially had planned in my head, but I think we can work with that. Alright, let's cap this guy off here. Of course, now we're up in the air, so we're going to have to do some finagling. So dip that down and that down. Looks a little wonky, but it'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. I could always just put some ground in there, but nah, I think it's fine. Okay. So we got a little bit of a gap. We're going to have to unsnap that guy and niggle these two in like that. Much better. Cool. So you come in there, you got your grounds for the market. We got another entryway here, which we need a door for. Let's see. I don't know. Let's check out our junk fences in here. We have doorways. Let's see if I have... there we go. I was thinking like something different. Well, that's definitely different. Weird looking. kind of like this one with the barbed wire. So let's stick this guy in here. Of course, that is going to be guarded. Naturally. Alright. And you know what? That light can stay exactly where it is. Is it being... alright, maybe not. I'm actually going to replace that with one that works, but for now, we'll leave it as a place marker for where the new one's going to go. Ooh, that's bad. So you know what? Let's go to CVC and throw a rock or something in there. When in doubt, rock out. Deadlands. Over here. You know what? What's over here? Maybe we'll do a cliff of some sort. See how that looks. Nah, that's not really fitting. Alright. Let's just maybe a pile of something. Just a regular, more like a dirt, or not dirt, junk pile. That works. We're gonna rock. Get a rock. Alright, how are we doing? Whatever. That works. Alright, so initially, for building this whole marketplace, I wanted this to be like one big giant sort of tent city type deal. But, it's not really going to work with the walls I put in place, so we're going to have to kind of change my idea initially. And you'll understand what I'm talking about. Not too long. So we got these types of deals, textures here, yeah, with some plastic and some roofing and whatnot, that I was thinking of, that would be like the entirety. Oh, don't tell me these don't snap. Do I have that? Oh, okay. There we go. Of the thing done up with, roofs very similar to that, or tarps. So let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, see, we have blue tarps. We have other colored tarps, but essentially that's kind of what I was thinking. So I think before I even do anything like that, we're just going to start throwing some stores and whatnot in here. So we're going to go back. Where am I going? Wrong way. What is that? Oh, face the waste. It's the back of the thing. That's why. Okay. Drone pool. Back to CVC. Yes. Stores. General. And again, since this is a parking lot, we're going to use a couple of these bad boys as some of our stores. Let's go ahead and just kind of stick one like right here. Maybe not there. Trying to keep this looking realistic, and we don't want our wheels to be sinking into concrete. Into the ground is fine, but into the concrete, not so much. Kind of like that. We try to keep that above, we're going to end up with something like so. You know what? It's fine. Just don't look at that side. Alright, there we go. We got a general trader. Whoops. Let's see. Give him some stuff, maybe. Maybe he's got a little thing set up here over by the wall. Nice. Well, let's move him over just a little bit, just so it makes a little more sense. And we'll just throw a bunch of random stuff all around here as well. A little bit of that. Got a cart with Mr. Handy. Gonna leave in there. Stick this like right here, maybe. Love it. Let's see, shelves. That's pretty neat too. You know what? Stick this guy over here as well. Right here, just to kind of help close things off. We'll stick him like right there. Nice. Alright. Guns and ammo. So again, most of this is going to be closed off, so we're just going to kind of, I don't know. We're going to take this guy, bring him up against the wall. That way, you go to buy guns and ammo, stick you in the corner. You're right there where the guards can see you. This guy here, turn our surface snap on. Do a little of that. do like that one a little better, though. Let's get rid of that one. Let's put this one in right there, like so. And let's bring this forward. Let's tweak that a little so it's more straighter. Perfecto. Alright. We need some... We're going to use this wall. Some of our thing. There we go. Turn on our grid snapping. Throw a little of that in there. Put that one like so. That works. What else we got? There we go. We'll give this guy like some actual walls at some point. Stick this guy back here. A little cart. Some stuff on it. You know what, maybe we'll... Let's move this. Hang on. Let's put this over here by the register. And we'll stick our little cart down in here, maybe. Let's see, what else we got? Ooh, hello. Nice. Alright. So this particular guy, we're gonna fence him in. Want chain link fence. Nice. Like this. It's not good. Right. Perfect. And we want the pole there. That works. Alright. We need... Perfect. Nice little shorter piece of fence. Stick that. Oh, geez. Gonna have to go into our sandbags here. Fortunately. Now, let me see. Do I have a gate that works? That isn't huge. Cool. Perfect. Way too high. Alright. Let's, fix that. Let's get the gate down. I have to tweak this quite a bit. Keep going. That's better. Alright. Bring you on over. Make the gate a little more functionally. Bring that over like so, and then, you know, we'll try to close that off or something. Make sure this goes the right way. Perfect. Nice. Alright, you know what? I don't think I've saved once since we started. So we're going to do that. Oops. There we go. Alright, let's see what else we got. Any really small pieces I can use or something? Newer fence pieces, but we don't want newer. No, we don't. Alright, so we're gonna get out of all that. We're just gonna come over to structures, wood, supports, and we're gonna throw some beams in here. Just to help close that gap a little bit. Off that. Just throw that in. That works. Cool. Now we got ourselves a nice little guns and ammo thing here. That works. Actually, might put some more tent coverage just for this guy. Don't remember where the ones I'm looking for are, so we're just going to kind of skip over that at the moment. I'm thinking... No, definitely not in there. Let me check in here. No, not really. Well, I can probably try using the one in here. Let's go check that out. Go for orange. Oh, no, we definitely want that. That's got too many holes. There we go. I like that. That still doesn't really cover our weapons there. Let me see if I have what I'm thinking of. Let's see. Oh. get that guy in like so. How does that look down in here? Oh, that interferes way too much with that other one. Okay, never mind on that one. It's technically a rug, but that could work. You know what? I'm going to change that. We're going to take this guy over here. I have a feeling that's going to mess with, yeah, like that. So we don't want that. Alright, so let's take that one out. Maybe we'll try making our own. Turn off that grid snapping. We're going to get this guy in here. So... now let's go back this way to one of the flatter ones or something. Yeah, let's get this guy back up and running too. No, don't like that. Actually, you know what? That actually gave me an idea. Hang on. Let's put this guy back in here like I had it before. So, then we're going to go to... put one of these dudes in. Well, could turn it around, but that's too big. Hang on. Hang on. I have ideas. No, still not feeling it. Really wanted to use that too. Alright, so we're going to take that out. We're going to go for a more traditional roof real fast. I'm going to go into the wood roofuses. I think I have one of these plain ones that are on an angle. Yeah, like these dudes. Alright. Let's go ahead and just slap this in here. So. Okay, now that we got that, we'll attach that like so. Boom. Now it works. Awesome. And you got some extra tarpage there. Ooh, but that actually really hides the guns. We might have to get rid of that one then and put the other one back in. Alright. Let's do that, unfortunately. Back to CVC. Building, no, not building. Dum-dum. Stores. Ammos. Fortunately, take that guy out and put this one in. So, I mean, I do have access to sandbags, so I could always just kind of put my own in place. Not that big a deal. I mean, I do have some gap filling to do now, but... alright, now that we've got that... looks like I do have another idea. How did I do that last time? I think I used... you're gonna like this if I can get this to work. No, back to... whoops, back over here. Fences... wire fence, there we go. Stick that guy there. That guy there. Boom. So now everything gets passed underneath the fencing. And I know it will fill this gap in up here too, maybe? Really wish this had, like, an angle to it. I know there's angled fences. Actually, you know what? You know what? Yeah, like that guy there. Ooh, I love it. Can't do the same over here because there are gates there. But it worked. Let's see. Get some piece of something here. No, not really. Not really. Alright, but we do need another post over here because now we're just kind of like floating in the middle of nothing. But we gotta dip these guys down. They're kind of sticking through the roof, and it's perfect. I like it. Alright. let's go ahead and get our wooden posts, and then we're going to call it done for today. Wood. Stick this guy up in here. Nope. Right here. Like so. This is so janky, but I don't care. It works. Let's put that behind. Chain there. Nice. Now it's pulling double duty. Alright, so we got that little gap right there. Forgot about that guy. You know what? We're going to go into defense guard posts. And we're going to pull up some sandbags or something. So get through all these guys here. There we go. There's a line of sandbags, but that's more what I'm looking for. Stick this guy right here. Do the same. I guess it doesn't really matter. Nice. He wants a little extra protection while he's in here. Love it. Make sure that didn't interfere with anything. Nope. We're good. Good. Cool. Got ourselves a nice little armory. Cool. Alright, folks, that's going to do it for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Until then, don't get irradiated.